Coming up, a fatal pedestrian crash on I-75, what we've learned about the moments leading up to the collision. Plus, the countdown is on to the midterm election, how both candidates for Florida governor are gathering some last-minute support, and new details on that mail bombing attack, how long investigators say the alleged bomber planned his attack. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. We begin with some breaking news involving Sarasota County Schools. The district announcing changes in the leadership of the school police force. Sarasota County Sheriff's Office Captain Timothy Enos has been appointed as the school district's new executive director of safety and security, as well as its chief of police. The change will go into effect with the approval of the school board. The current police chief, Paul Grochowski, will be reassigned to an administrative role effective immediately, and the district security director, Michael Andreas, is leaving the district. These changes all come just months into the school district's police department's creation. We'll have much more in this story coming up in our evening broadcasts. We're less than a week away now from Election Day. Both candidates in Florida's heated gubernatorial race making last-minute campaign stops around the state. Republican Ron DeSantis stopping here on the Suncoast earlier this morning. ABC 7's Jess Dowdrick was there and joins us now with more on the story. Jess?
Scott, Ron DeSantis made his first campaign stop of the day early this morning at Dolphin Aviation Sarasota, right on the Manatee and Sarasota County borders, where dozens of people packed inside to hear the gubernatorial candidate speak. DeSantis pointing out what he calls stark differences between him and his opponent, Democrat Andrew Gillum, saying he supports the military and officers, claiming Gillum doesn't. The Republican also claiming Gillum wants to have open borders and abolish ICE, while he would protect the state's borders and keep illegal immigrants out. In an interview after today's rally, DeSantis was asked what he thinks of President Trump announcing just yesterday that he wants to sign an executive order to end automatic right to citizenship to anyone born in the U.S. This is what DeSantis had to say.
It really is probably easier to come illegally right now than legally, because these people are having to pay money. They're having to do a lot to be able to do it. And so I'm just somebody that's always understood how legal immigration has been a big benefit to Florida, particularly in some of our communities in South Florida. And I think that's one reason why we're doing pretty good there.
DeSantis will finish today campaigning with President Trump in Fort Myers. That event starts at 7 o'clock tonight at Hertz Arena. Scott.
All right, Jess, thank you. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Andrew Gillum is also looking to convince voters to choose him next week. Today, Gillum expected to make campaign appearances in the Panhandle. He'll be speaking in both Pensacola and in Destin. Gillum has support from former President Obama, and the final days of the 2018 campaign, Mr. Obama is scheduled to make a stop in the Sunshine State later this week. He'll be in Miami Friday to campaign with both U.S. Senator Bill Nelson and Andrew Gillum. More than 3.4 million people in Florida have already voted, surpassing the number who voted early by mail 4 years ago. The State Division of Elections reports nearly 1.5 million people have voted early so far, and almost 2 million have voted by mail. Once again, the general election is set for next Tuesday, November 6th. Early voting ends this Saturday. And for your guide to voting, visit our website, mysuncoast.com. There's a link at the top. Just look for Vote 2018. In First Alert Traffic, new information on a deadly accident on I-75 in Sarasota County. Troopers say a person was lying in the middle of the interstate when they were hit and killed by a vehicle. Troopers say the car was heading south on 75 in the center lane near the Clark Road exit around 10:45 last night. And for some reason, a pedestrian was lying down in the road, partially in the center and outside lane. The car hit the pedestrian, and that person was pronounced dead at the scene. Troopers are still trying to notify family and have not released the person's name. Investigators say a fire that damaged several boats at the Venice Yacht Club was an accident. Investigators blaming an electrical issue on one of the vessels. Venice Fire Rescue called to the scene Tuesday afternoon after 2 boats went up in flames and then spread to 2 others at the marina. Fortunately, no one was on board any of those boats when the fire broke out, and no one was hurt. Damage is estimated at around $1 million to those boats. The 2 burned-out yachts were removed from the dock yesterday. After the devastation caused by Hurricane Michael and red tide, the state is working to bring tourists back to Florida. This week, Visit Florida approving an almost $9 million marketing campaign. It will address the hurricane and red tide issues and protect the state's brand by stressing what is open across the state. Tomorrow, the agency is expected to go live with a new website that will help tourists plan their vacation. The agency has also been using Facebook to post videos of parts of the Panhandle that were not impacted by Hurricane Michael. And if we have more days like today, I have no doubt visitors will be flocking to the Sunshine State.
And why shouldn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, did you notice did you get out this morning and kind of walk around a little bit? Feel
Yeah.
the humidity was a little bit lower this morning.
It was
Not bad.
nice.
Yeah,
felt
running
refreshing.
about 5 degrees in the dew point value, 5 degrees below where it was 24 hours ago. So
Makes
that-
a big difference.
It does make a big difference. Yeah, when you're talking the difference between a 68 and a 63 or something,
Yeah.
62, it makes a big difference. And that's the case today. I think trick-or-treaters are going to be in for a good time tonight. Certainly no weather worries. Sarasota Bay webcam put into motion hardly shows a cloud in the sky. I don't think we'll see much today in the way of any kind of widespread cloud cover. You might see an isolated cloud or two, but that's really about it. A lot of blue sky in store for us, a lot of starry night tonight as well. So we're looking at temperatures that are generally speaking just a tad bit cooler than they were yesterday to start the morning. But now everything's kind of caught up and we're looking at temperatures that are pretty much equivalent to where they were. Only it feels better because the dew points are a little bit lower. So we've got 78 in Bradenton, we've got 80 in Sarasota. Temperatures generally hovering around those values most everywhere you look. Satellite view doesn't show much in the way of any cloud cover. As I mentioned, all across the entire peninsula and deep south, things are pretty quiet right now. But our eyes are trained to that line of showers and thunderstorms that you see back to the west. That is a cold front that promises significant changes in the days ahead. Here's your Halloween scary forecast. Warm but dry tonight. It's going to be kind of a dark night tonight. We'll have a half moon, but it doesn't rise till after midnight. So for the most part, the skies are going to be dark. Sunset at 6:48 with temperatures ranging between 80 and 75 between sunset and about 9 o'clock. Complete forecast in a minute, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. The FBI investigation continues in Pittsburgh as law enforcement officials say they are struggling to find information on Robert Bowers, the man accused of opening fire on the Tree of Life Synagogue and killing 11 people. ABC's Stephanie Ramos reports from Pittsburgh and where the president visited last night.
This was the scene outside the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh as President Trump and First Lady Melania visited the site where 11 people were murdered as they worshiped. The synagogue's rabbi welcoming them. Mourners lining the block around the synagogue to remember those who were killed in the Saturday morning massacre. This land was made for you and me. All while more than 1,000 protesters demanding the president denounce white nationalism.
He is not welcome in my synagogue and in my city.
Demonstrators carrying signs that read "Words Matter." One neighbor shouting from her front steps.
It's not about you! Let the families grieve!
ABC News crews posted near the president could hear the protesters, yet President Trump is painting a different picture today, tweeting, "Melania and I were treated very nicely yesterday in Pittsburgh. Small protest was not seen by us, staged far away." Before the president's visit, the mayor of Pittsburgh said the trip would be ill-timed, and one of the victims' families even reportedly declined to meet with the president because of his comments after the shooting that the synagogue should have had an armed guard. However, a widow of one of the victims did meet with the president.
She said that she wanted to be there in order to show him that people wanted him there.
Today, more funerals are planned as the FBI tries to learn more about the shooter. It seems as though no one really knew the killer. On social media, he's been described as a demon, but in person, Robert Bowers seemed to be more of a ghost. No known family and no apparent friends. In Washington, Stephanie Ramos, ABC News.
Now to news developments on the mail bombing suspect. The Department of Justice claims he had been planning his domestic terrorist attack since July. Cesar Sayoc is accused of sending explosive devices to several Democratic leaders and CNN last week. Investigators found lists of physical addresses that matched the labels of the IED packages that Sayoc allegedly mailed. He also had pictures of them on his cell phone. Forensic evidence from his laptop also shows that Sayoc used the same computer to conduct research on his targets. Now to an alarming video of a daycare fight club. One mother is suing after her child caught the video caught the video on camera. Take a look here. The video taken back in 2016 shows teachers cheering the young children on, one jumping enthusiastically while the other helps the students put on toy fists. One little boy tries to break up the fight. The incident came to light after one 10-year-old boy captured the scene on his iPad.
They're fighting.
If he wouldn't have had his iPad on him that day, who knows if we even would have found out about this.
Boy's mother immediately reported the incident to the school and to authorities, but while the two teachers seen in the video were fired, the state did not file any criminal charges. Now the mom is suing the daycare for more than $25,000. Still to come in your Suncoast News, how scary is too scary? How parents of little ones can make this Halloween more fun and a little less spooky. And trick-or-treat Halloween events that you need to know about right here on the Suncoast.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Get more for your money at Sunset Subaru in Sarasota. Subaru vehicles hold their value better than any other brand for 2018, according to ALG. And Subaru is Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Forester is an IIHS top safety pick for 12 years running. And right now, you can lease a new Subaru Forester for just $229 a month or get 0% financing with zero down. Get more for your money. Go to Sunset Subaru in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000. Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
ABC7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
Looking at 80-degree air temperature with a dew point value of 62. So here's the thing. We started off a little bit cooler this morning than we did 24 hours ago, but our rate of heating has increased a little bit because the air's slightly drier. Remember that moist air tends to start off a little bit warmer, but doesn't get quite as hot during the day. But with dry air, like desert air, gets very cold at night and very warm during the day. You get a really rapid heating, and that's kind of what is going on right here, right now. Same sort of thermodynamics. Wind is out of the east-southeast now at about 7, so we're getting that little bit of a southerly component to the wind. We're going to start moistening our atmosphere, but really the real moistening probably won't start till after midnight tonight. That's when we'll start to see the dew point values significantly rise rapidly. 85 degrees by around 3 p.m. I think we'll probably top it out today at around 86, 87 for a daytime high, maybe a degree warmer than we were 24 hours ago, even though we started a little bit cooler. We'll look for temperatures to decline during the evening hours into the 80s and then eventually into the mid to low 70s by the time we get to midnight. Under starry skies, we will start to see the winds begin to switch around more to a southeasterly direction after midnight and turn even southwesterly as we head into tomorrow. All because of this frontal boundary and the position of a high-pressure ridge, which is bringing a rain-free south right now. As we progress into the next 24 hours, that area of high pressure that's providing us and has provided us most of the week with nice, beautiful blue skies will start to slip out into the Atlantic, and as that happens, changes will occur. Right now, everything's very quiet. Expected to be quiet today, expected to be quiet this evening and tonight as well. Don't really see any chance for rainfall tomorrow, any of the outdoor activities and trick-or-treat celebrations. High pressure moves into the Atlantic in the next 24 hours to allow this frontal system back to the west to advance. As that happens, our wind direction starts to twist a little bit more to the southeast and eventually south and eventually even southwest in advance of this approaching front. Sunny skies today with moderate humidity. Watch the humidity start to rise and spike as early as tomorrow, and that sets the stage in an unstable atmosphere Friday for some showers and maybe even a thunderstorm or two. Although the line of storms associated with this frontal boundary, which at times will become intense, will start to fall apart just a little bit as it sinks southward. We're going to be keeping an eye on it to see just how strong these storms are as they begin to enter into Gulf waters and approach Florida. They'll be in the Panhandle by Friday morning and then probably in our neck of the woods by around lunchtime or mid-afternoon on Friday. Again, the severe weather threat exists in the northern part of the state, not so much in the southern part of the state. You can see this little swath right here of just marginally severe weather possibilities. That occurs from Tampa Bay northward. I don't think we're going to see much in the way of severe weather here, but we'll be keeping an eye on it. Winds, however, will be out of the east initially, then turn to the southeast, and I think by Thursday, we'll probably even see a little bit more of a southwesterly turn to the winds. And consequently, a beach hazard statement has been issued by the National Weather Service to indicate the potential of some red tide irritant in the air due to that little bit of a wind shift on Thursday and Friday. East wind comes at 10 knots, turns to the southeast at about 10 to 15 this evening. Gets a little breezy. That's nice. It'll make it even a little bit more comfortable for trick-or-treaters this evening. 86 the temperature, 85 tomorrow with a 20% chance of showers. Spikes up to a 50% chance on Friday with that front moving through. Saturday looks good as the front's well to the south of us stalled out in the Florida Straits, but it returns north as a warm front on Sunday with a 40% chance of showers. And by the way, clocks back 2 a.m. Sunday. And that rain chance kind of meanders around the 30% to 40% mark for a couple of days at the beginning of next work week. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. Halloween is a time for spooky and scary, but when it comes to your little ones, how scary is too scary? Well, every child is different, and that's why it's important as parents to know what their child is afraid of. Parents should also keep track of what's on TV and that is appropriate for the youngest of your children. It's best to prevent a situation where younger children are seeing things they aren't ready for.
You know your own child better than anybody, and every child is unique. Most of the time, by the time they reach school age, they know how to separate fiction from reality. So up until then, you should be very guarded in what they see in terms of Halloween.
Another tip for parents of young children who are afraid of costumes, allow them to watch you put on your costume. That may help them understand what a mask is, and that it's just a mask. An alarming number of teens are using sleep aids. According to a recent study, less than 3% of teenagers get the recommended 8 to 9 hours of sleep a day. So a quarter of them are seeking relief in herbal over-the-counter pills and prescriptions. A poll on Children's Health found that 28% of teens tried some type of medication to help them sleep. Even more, 36% have turned to natural or herbal remedies, specifically melatonin. All right, time for lunch. Let's check in the kitchen with ABC7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher on this Halloween. Hi, Judy.
Well, hi there, Scott. Nothing too spooky in the kitchen today, but it's going to be perfect for those days where it's in the 80s. I'm going to make a really delicious salmon pasta dish. Now, the great thing about this is you can use a fresh salmon fillet, or you can use smoked salmon. This particular brand over at Whole Foods is local as far as it's a product of Miami, Florida. So I really love that. And they have, you can get one that's been braised in vodka and different. This is a lemon dill, so different opportunities. There's even one that's a Cajun style with their seasoning. So we're gonna bring this together. We're gonna use a little Parmesan cheese. The recipe calls for spinach or peas. Today I decided to use spinach, maybe a little asparagus, zest of lemon. We're just gonna bring it all together. Little cream and ooh, that Parmesan cheese. It is gonna be our big treat for adults for tonight. We'll be back in a few minutes to get cooking.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American Car of the Year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Enjoy fine wine and great foods, all while supporting a great cause. It's the 17th annual Suncoast Food and Wine Fest, happening Saturday, November 10th from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Premier Sports Campus in Lakewood Ranch. Taste hundreds of wines from around the world and sample great food from the area's finest restaurants. All proceeds go to local charities and Rotary projects. For tickets and information, visit suncoastfoodandwinefest.com.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hut hut! It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with zero down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
According to a new survey by U.S. News and World Report, 3 of Alabama's top 4 hotels and resorts are part of the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail Resort Collection. The Grand Hotel Marriott Resort in Point Clear, the Battle House Renaissance Mobile Hotel and Spa, and the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Golf Resort and Spa. Hey, we didn't invent Southern hospitality, we just offer more of it. Visit rtjgolf.com/resorts to find out more.
I'm a Florida voter. I want to make sure my voice is heard.
Here in Florida,
we have 3 ways to vote.
Vote by mail.
Early voting.
And voting at the polls on Election Day.
Make sure your voice is heard.
I'm Secretary of State Ken Detzner. Get ready, get set, vote.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. ABC7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Well, if you're still looking for something fun and spooky to do this Halloween, plenty to do here on the Suncoast. Venice is hosting its annual Halloween parade. The fun will kick off at 4 in Centennial Park. The parade down Venice Avenue will begin at 4:30. After the parade, children can trick-or-treat then for more goodies at stores along the avenues. And then tonight in Bradenton, the community trick-or-treat stroll is perfect for families with small children. It starts at 6 o'clock at the Village of the Arts on 12th Street West in Bradenton. Thriller returning to St. Armand's Circle for Fright Night. Sarasota High School's drama department will be getting zombie-fied, performing Michael Jackson's Thriller dance. There'll be also be haunted storefronts, trick-or-treating around the circle for kids. All the fun starts at 6 and ends at 8:30 this evening. You can also bring your little ones to trick or treat on Siesta Key. Merchants in Siesta Village as well as South Siesta Key will be taking part. Just look for those businesses displaying festive balloons. All the festivities start at 3 and then end at 6 p.m. Back to the kitchen now to check in on lunch with ABC 7 culinary director Judy Gallagher. Judy.
Okay, Scott, so we're going to start with this beautiful fresh salmon fillet. Little olive oil, I like it to rest for about 5 or 10 minutes, so I already had some on there, just a little bit more. This is one of my favorite things, the Florida Sunshine from St. Armand's Spice and Tea Exchange, and I love it because it has these elements of the different salts and dried oranges and citrus. So I'm going to turn that over, get the skin too. We're not going to keep the skin on once it's cooked, but I really want to get the crispness into this, and that's going to really help. Flesh side down. This size piece is probably going to take about 4 minutes per side. Now you could roast this in the oven and it might make you feel more comfortable if you just do that. Season it the same way, put it in the oven at 350 to 375, about 20 minutes. Don't go too high a heat. What happens if this pan were on high, you would get that white that you sometimes see. That means the heat is too high. So it's better to keep it at medium high. Even medium is going to be safer because here we don't have to have this big crust on the salmon. If we're going to use this smoked salmon in this particular recipe to feed about 4 to 5 people, 1 pack of smoked salmon may be short, so look how many ounces it is. This one's 4 ounces. I would say go 6 to 8 ounces. So we're going to let this sit, a little black pepper on it, and then I'm going to walk you through some of the ingredients that we're going to add. We're going to add some fresh sliced basil towards the end and dill. Now the recipe does call for chives. There were no chives at the store. That's why I switched out to dill. So you can do things like that. I don't like using dehydrated chives, however, so always make sure you have the fresh ones, but you can balance it off a little bit. Now, we're going to be adding garlic to the pasta, and I have some elephant garlic. I'm going to add this to the pan, just where that oil is, just about enough for 1 clove of the elephant garlic. I'm going to make sure that I don't brown it though, just a little translucency, and then I can take it out of the pan. I have pappardelle pasta, which are those nice, wide, thick noodles. But if you prefer, you can use a penne or a rigatoni. That's what I like when a recipe, you don't have to be bound to one thing because often I like to shop my cabinets. Oops, I have 2 boxes of this. I've even made this with orzo. So when we come back, we're going to add the different ingredients. The salmon will be done. We'll flake that out. We'll start to add the pasta and the cream, and it'll all come together with a few capers. So stay with me. Dinner is coming up in just a few minutes.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Xfinity X5, a more powerful way to stay connected. It gives you super fast speeds for all your devices, enhanced coverage, and lets you control your network with the X5 app. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Xfinity X5. Simple, easy, awesome.
Get started with Xfinity Internet for just $29.99 a month for 12 months. Plus, ask about X5 pods for even more coverage. Click, call, or visit a store today.
Every day, we take steps to keep the people we love safe. But some health risks are easy to miss. Ticks hiding in the yard can spread germs, like the ones that cause Lyme disease. Mice searching for food can spread bacteria that makes us sick. Mosquitoes lay eggs in standing water and can spread West Nile virus and more. Cockroaches are drawn to water in the home, leaving behind allergens that can trigger asthma attacks. Common pests can threaten our health. Learn how to protect your family at pestworld.org.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
We've got a tribute to Aretha Franklin that will blow your socks off. I'm Linda Carson. On Suncoast View, singer CeCe Tennille gives us a preview of her show called A Tribute to a Queen. We're also getting ready to shake our bodies with an intense yoga routine, plus cool new products from our beauty expert. And Seasons 52 in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 9 on Suncoast View.
This southern weekend, we're relaxing on the river in the Georgia Lowcountry. We'll see how one woman's dream created the South's first public art museum.
You have to really be here to experience it.
We'll drop anchor at a restaurant hidden in the Lowcountry marshes. And we'll show you how those marshes form an ecosystem completely unique to the South.
So come join the adventure as we explore Savannah, Georgia on the next Southern Weekend.
Sunday at 5 on ABC 7.
Performing on stage takes mental and physical preparation. But one thing I never thought to prepare for was cervical cancer. 91% of cervical cancers are caused by the human papillomavirus, or HPV. The good news is there are vaccines that can protect you or your children from cancer. I survived my cancer, but you can stop cancer before it starts. Talk to your doctor and go to thinkaboutthelink.org to learn more.
ABC 7, the Suncoast's official Florida lottery station.
Coming up, an alleged plot to level accusations of sexual misconduct against special counsel Robert Mueller. Federal investigation now underway. Plus, a deadly experimental helicopter crash in Central Florida. And the pumpkin carving contest that will make you rethink your traditional jack-o'-lantern face.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story at 12:30. The Office of the Special Counsel has asked the FBI to look into a possible plot to make untrue allegations of sexual assault against Robert Mueller. With what the federal officials are now looking into, ABC's Aaron Katursky.
The alleged smear campaign against Robert Mueller involved tens of thousands of dollars offered to women to make false accusations of sexual misconduct against him. Mueller's leading the investigation into Russia's interference in the 2016 presidential election and any possible involvement by members of the Trump campaign. The special counsel's office says it learned of the possible plot last week and immediately told the FBI. Several journalists said they were contacted by a woman who worked at Mueller's law firm in the 1970s. She claimed to have been offered $20,000 to make up negative stories about Mueller and go public with them. The woman said she was contacted by a person who claimed to be an associate of Jack Burkman, a known right-wing conspiracy peddler who in recent days has teased on social media, without evidence, that damaging information about Mueller would be coming soon. Burkman told ABC News any allegations that he paid anyone to come forth are completely untrue. Burkman has previously peddled a phony theory about the death of Democratic staff member Seth Rich, trying to tie his murder to the hacked DNC emails. Rich was shot in Washington, D.C. in a 2016 botched robbery. President Trump has repeatedly denounced the special counsel's investigation as a witch hunt. In 17 months, Mueller's team has won a criminal conviction at trial, 6 guilty pleas, and has indicted dozens of others. Jack Burkman told us he still plans to hold a news conference Thursday to introduce a client of his claiming to have a credible allegation against Robert Mueller. The veracity of that claim could not be determined. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Now to new developments in the investigation into the apparent murder of a Washington Post columnist. A Turkish prosecutor says journalist Jamal Khashoggi was strangled as soon as he entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul as part of a premeditated killing. They say he was then dismembered and disposed of. The statement is the first public confirmation by a Turkish official that Khashoggi was murdered after he entered the consulate on October 2nd to collect paperwork needed to marry his Turkish fiancée. Investigators believe they may have found the fuselage of that doomed Lion Air jet in Indonesia. The discovery could help them find answers as to what caused it to crash. Indonesian search and rescue also recovering dozens of new bodies along with more plane debris. Locating the plane's main body is one step closer to finding the black box, which investigators hope will reveal what happened in those final moments before the crash. The signal from the flight recorder has been detected, but the strength of the currents prevented the black box from being recovered. The 2-month-old Boeing 737 dived into the Java Sea on Monday, just 13 minutes after takeoff from Jakarta, killing all 189 people on board. Caught on camera, a deadly experimental helicopter crash in central Florida. Investigators say a gyrocopter crashed into a mobile home park in Highlands County yesterday afternoon. 2 people in the copter were killed. 1 person on the ground was injured. The fiery crash destroyed 1 mobile home and damaged another. There's no word yet on what may have caused that craft to go down. And thanks a lot, NASA. The space agency's engineers just outdid us all when it comes to pumpkin carving. This was the 7th year for the contest at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. As you can see, the simple smiling pumpkin or carved faces would not do at this competition. The contestants took standard jack-o'-lanterns and made them spin, light up, glow, even battle other pumpkins. All of the contestants had to create their entries on their own time. The prize for coming up with all these displays? Just bragging rights. But man, they know how to do it, don't they, John?
They do. That's pretty cool. Right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That's some talent right there.
Yeah, it is. Oh, those guys are amazing.
Yeah.
So we have some pretty nice weather for us today. I think it's shaping up to be just beautiful for trick-or-treating tonight. Lots of celebrations going on, you know, out at St. Armand's, other places. And it looks like the weather's going to hold nicely. A little bit lower humidity, perhaps, and the breeze that we're going to have will even aid in making the weather delightful. Lakewood Ranch webcam put it into motion. Doesn't show much more than blue sky out there. As we head into the later part of the afternoon, we might develop a few fair weather clouds, but that will be about it. Temperatures locally running around 79, 80 degrees, something like that. We start off about 4 degrees cooler. Now we're pretty much caught up, even a little bit warmer than we were 24 hours ago at this time. So we're starting to see a trend that carries our temperatures to probably a little bit warmer than they were yesterday, as our rate of warming has increased just a tad from yesterday. Lots of rain showers and thunderstorms back to the west, potentially a severe weather outbreak tomorrow as that system moves into the northern Gulf Coast. For us, we don't get any of that today. We don't get any of that really tomorrow. Friday, I think we do have a chance of seeing some thunderstorms around. Our rain chance today, nil. We have a 83 by 3 p.m. I think we'll probably, it should read 85 actually by 3 p.m. We'll probably top it out today about 87 or so, 86, something like that for a daytime high. And it should be a delightful evening. Scott?
John, thank you. Detectives with Sarasota Police Department asking for your help in finding a burglar who was caught on camera stealing from a cafe. Police say the man broke into a cafe at Selby Botanical Gardens on October 23rd around 1 o'clock in the morning. Police say the surveillance video shows the man rummaging through a cooler, eating a sandwich, drinking from a jug of milk, and then stealing cash from the register before taking off. If you have any information about the burglary, call Sarasota Police. Before trick-or-treaters head out the door tonight, Manatee County deputies will be knocking on the doors of registered sexual offenders and predators to make sure they're not trying to lure kids near their homes. Right now, there are more than 500 sexual predators and offenders that live within the county. If any offender is seen talking to kids or putting decorations up at their home, giving out candy, even sitting on their porch while trick-or-treaters are out, they will be arrested for violating their probation. Parents can look on local law enforcement apps, which both Sarasota and Manatee counties provide. You can find where all of the registered sex offenders and predators live in your area. Make sure you and your children are careful while out trick-or-treating tonight. A new study shows that children are more likely to be fatally struck by a car on Halloween than any other night of the year. The study found pedestrians have a 43% increase of death on this day compared to any other. And for children between the ages of 4 and 8, the risk was 10 times higher than normal. Helicopters will be flying over parts of Manatee County next week. Florida Power and Light plans to use those choppers for a project. FPL crews will be replacing fiber cable on transmission structures that span the Manatee River east of the interstate. The company does not anticipate any power outages as a result of that project. Back to the kitchen, check in on lunch with Culinary Director Judy Gallagher.
Oh, Scott, we are rocking it. Now comes the good part. Let's add a little bit of cream and let's get that temperature down because we don't want it to curdle. I added about 2 tablespoons of butter and we have that oil in there. So that is going to have that flavor of all that citrus and some sea salt. Now we're going to use some shredded or grated Parmesan, and use the higher quality. Don't use the kind in the can. There's such a difference. It's worth spending the extra money for a nice imported Parmesan. And we're not putting that much in, so it works out fine. Little splash of white wine if you want, and because we're going to open up a bottle of white wine to have with it, right? So the sauce is basically coming together really well. We'll take in some fresh spinach. Like I said, you could use peas, you can use asparagus. Just about 2 teaspoons of capers, and make sure they're drained. And then you can see I flaked out the salmon. That's why I say this is a great forgiving dish. So you can see I flaked it right in the pan, so all that delicious juiciness is still there with the garlic and that oil, adding more flavor. So now that the cream, that we know that it has a chance to come up to temperature so it won't curdle, we're going to just add a little brightness and do zest of lemon. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our pasta. And like I said, you know, almost any pasta will do. I prefer not spaghetti, but rigatoni. I'm using pappardelle. I love the way pappardelle just adheres to the sauce. So with those wide noodles, so delicious, and a nice quality imported brand is always great. Or Peperonata Pasta, our local pasta company. They'll be down at the farmer's market on Saturday. So that's always an awesome choice. So now we're going to take some lemon juice, about the equivalent of 3 tablespoons. And again, let's go slow on it because we don't want the cream to curdle. And sometimes with citrus, whoops, just got a little splash in the eye there. That can happen. So we're just about done. Now what I want to do is just sprinkle just a little bit of basil in it, and then we're going to finish it off with some more basil and cheese. And of course, a little more of the Florida sunshine. Let's take a break and come back for a taste real soon. It's definitely a treat, not a trick today.
Blue 32, Blue 32, hot, hot. It's the Ghetto Gridiron Challenge. The game's on to sell 2,000 vehicles. 12 teams compete for the #1 spot. Score a great deal at every Ghetto dealership. Buy with 0 down. Make no payments for 90 days. Choose from 14 of your favorite brands, all on sale. Who will make it to the end zone? You decide. Rush to a Ghetto location near you or visit Ghetto.com.
Ghetto's got it.
Stop in and save big on new Ram trucks during Ram Power Days at Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota. The Ram 1500 has been named a Consumer Guide Best Buy for 6 years running. Get an all-new 2019 Ram Quad Cab for as little as $24,999. Or save big and get up to $14,328 off a new Ram Bighorn Crew Cab. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat in Sarasota.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Support the Hurricane Michael Relief and Disaster Fund by donating to the United Way of Northwest Florida today. Help communities rise and rebuild after the devastating mess left behind. Every donation makes a difference and is appreciated. Together, we are all Panhandle Strong.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
80-degree air temperature. We have a dew point value of 62 out there. A little bit lower than it was 24 hours ago, making the air, I think, I'll feel a little bit better in terms of its humidity values and sticky factor, I guess we'll call it. As we head into the afternoon, we'll climb our temperature to about 85 degrees by 3 p.m., top it out at probably 86, maybe 87, and then send it back down into the 80s and upper 70s as we head into the evening hours just after sunset, maybe as low as about 75 by the time we get to 9 o'clock, and then overnight we'll be dropping back down into the 60s. So we continue to watch this line of showers that's associated with a cold front sinking southward. We don't get any today. Today we stay dry right straight through the evening hours, so it should be just fine for outside celebrations. But as we head into Thursday and particularly Friday, we do have a chance at seeing some showers around as this high moves out into the Atlantic and our winds start to turn, increasing the moisture supply with a southerly wind and eventually even a southwesterly wind. Sunny skies today, moderate humidity today. Doesn't feel too bad outside, but that humidity will spike starting tomorrow night and particularly on Friday. And then we'll watch for rains and maybe even a few thunderstorms around on Friday. As far as the severe weather threat goes, I don't really think we'll see any around here, though there will be some pretty big storms begin to develop as a low pressure area kind of takes shape and brings some very heavy rainfall to parts of the northern Gulf Coast. We'll watch, but the tendency I think will be for this whole system to kind of fall apart as it gets closer to the state of Florida. Especially toward central Florida and west central Florida. We'll watch that with time. Here's the thunderstorm outlook. Starting today, we'll see some pretty big thunder boomers, I think, and even a severe weather threat with tornadoes, hail, gusty winds for parts of Texas and Louisiana, all the way to Louisiana. And then that kind of marches toward the east on Thursday with a chance of some severe weather, slight chance of severe weather in parts of the Panhandle stretching back to the Louisiana Delta region. But then on Friday, when the system kind of makes it down into Florida, a lot of that energy will be lifting off to the north and to the east. So we're only left with a very small chance, a marginal chance we call it, for severe weather, mostly in North Florida and along the mid-Atlantic coast. For us, I don't think we'll see much of a severe weather threat. Rainfall Futurecast also puts the heaviest of the rain shower chance into parts of the deep south. That's where those big storms that we just looked at will be rumbling across the parts of the Ohio Valley stretching back into the open plains and parts of the deep south as well. For us, I think we'll be lucky to pick up an inch of rainfall, very lucky. In fact, mostly I think we'll be looking at a quarter inch or possibly even less of rainfall with some of these storms moving through. And then everything starts to clear out once that front is south of us, but the winds will start to shift to a more southwesterly direction. Not a good thing. Could bring some of the red tide irritant back, and we do have a beach advisory, hazard advisory, up for the possibility starting tomorrow of some of those toxins returning to the air along our beaches. We'll see. The wind should shift back to the east, though, in pretty short order, so it'll be a brief period of westerly wind. East wind comes in at about 10, kind of picks up a little bit this evening. Should be a breezy evening with lower humidity. It'll feel comfortable. So 86 degrees for today, 85 tomorrow. Chance of rain showers best on Friday. Clearing on Saturday with slightly lower humidity as the front sinks south. The front turns back and heads north again on Sunday with a 40% chance of rain. Clocks go back at 2 a.m. on Sunday, by the way. And then on Monday and Tuesday, that front will kind of wag its tail over us with slight chances of showers. Back to you.
John, thank you. In consumer news, an Orlando man is suing Tesla. Sean Hudson says the autopilot feature of his Tesla Model S car failed to detect a disabled car on a highway, which led to a crash that left him with permanent injuries. He claims Tesla lulls drivers into a false sense of security that the cars can drive themselves when the autopilot function is used. But when there's danger on the road, drivers have no time to react.
That vehicle, and you know, I mean, I was sold, and I very little pay attention. You know, I mean, I'm paying attention half the time of what I used to.
Hudson says he suffers pain from a fractured vertebrae and has some cognitive problems since the accident 2 weeks ago on the Florida Turnpike. A spokesperson for Tesla has responded to the lawsuit, saying there's no reason to believe the autopilot feature malfunctioned and that drivers should always maintain control of the vehicle when using that autopilot function. Tonight, the first Norwegian Airlines flight from London's Gatwick Airport is scheduled to touch down in Tampa. The flight is expected to land around 8:35. To celebrate, Tampa International Airport plans to have cake giveaways and plenty of British-themed costumes. TIA announced the service to London back in June. Airport officials hope the added flights persuade more people to fly from Tampa instead of Orlando, which has several air carriers with service to London. Starting today, Uber users in Los Angeles will have access to a new safety feature that not only calls 911, but tells police exactly where you are. The new feature is in partnership with the Los Angeles Police Department. You already have the option to call 911 from the app, but with the new feature, the operator will also get key pieces of information about your location and the car you're in. Some of the info it will send includes the license plate, car make and model, and location.
If you're in an Uber and you're visiting the city, you obviously don't know where your location is, and this is something that is important to the visiting public in Los Angeles.
No word yet on whether this feature might expand outside of Los Angeles. Still to come in your Suncoast News, we'll check in one more time with Chef Judy in the kitchen, and then who doesn't love celebrity Halloween costumes? We're going to show you how Beyonce is paying tribute to R&B legend Toni Braxton this year.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
There are lots of people who are confused about which Medicare plan is right for them.
Hey, that's me. I barely know where to start.
Well, start here with me, Karen. I'm a licensed Humana sales agent.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Karen. I'm John Smith.
Hi, John. At Humana, we know you're unique, so you have different needs from other John Smiths.
Yeah, I've always thought so.
And together, we can find a plan that's right for you.
Great. I go to the doctor a couple of times a year, and I have some prescriptions, but I'm never fully sure of what's covered and what's not.
With Humana's all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans, you get coverage for hospital stays, doctor visits, and Part D prescription drug benefits, all for an affordable and sometimes no monthly plan premium.
Do you have any more information?
Sure. I'll get a decision guide in the mail to you today. They're free.
Finally, someone who understands the real me.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide. Call a licensed Humana sales agent today.
I used to dread getting up and going to work.
I was done with the corporate grind.
I was tired of being a starving artist.
And I started looking around for a business that I believed in, and I kind of wanted to do something a little more green.
My SCORE mentor helped me take the first step.
He helped me create a business plan and helped me implement it.
They've really taught me how to think big.
SCORE helped me to make the unimaginable possible, all for free. I'm here because of SCORE.
I'm here because of SCORE.
Get your free business mentor at SCORE.org.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills. The smarts? Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself? What are you gonna make of me?
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, restaurant guide, and more. Go to mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back.
We're having a feast.
We are. We decided we'd have our little Halloween meal now,
There
right?
you go. It's really good, Judy. I gotta tell you, delicious.
Thank you. I think the lemon zest, the orange zest that's in that Florida Sunshine Blend, bringing it together, a little cream, not too much, Parmesan, and I think the capers give it a pop as well.
It really does the trick. I tell you, I love salmon and pasta together. They really
Me
taste
too.
good.
Well, I love anything with pasta. I
true,
like
too.
good old white pasta. I mean, that's my nemesis.
That is absolutely true. And how do we get the recipe?
You can go on mysuncoast.com, and now there's a little change. Click on the Suncoast view, and you'll find the recipe and the videos up there.
There you go. Scott?
Thank you both. Coming up later today on ABC 7 News at 4, we'll hear how Amendment 5 would make it tougher for future lawmakers to raise taxes. And two local brothers are doing something special tonight to raise money for those affected by Hurricane Michael. We hope to see you later today on ABC 7 News at 4. In entertainment news, 2 out of the top 3 highest paid TV actors this year are women. How about that? According to Variety, Reese Witherspoon and Jennifer Aniston are each making $1.1 million per episode for their untitled morning show drama. That series is being produced by Apple. And Javier Bardem leads the pack, though, with a $1.2 million per episode payout for an upcoming untitled drama that will air on Amazon. When we hear the words record opening weekend, we typically think of movies, but this time a video game is breaking records. Red Dead Redemption 2 made more than $725 million in global retail sales in its first 3 days. That's the biggest opening weekend ever, not just for video games, but in entertainment overall. By comparison, Avengers Infinity War set a big screen opening weekend record this year, but at nearly $100 million less than that. Madea fans, you'll have to bid goodbye to the tough-talking grandmother next year. Her creator, Tyler Perry, says he will retire the character in 2019. In a radio interview, Perry said he doesn't want to play Madea when he is her age. Perry has been playing her in dozens of movies, plays, TV appearances for about 20 years now. He's now focusing on other projects, including his upcoming comedy called Nobody's Fool. And Beyoncé channeling R&B legend Toni Braxton in an epic Halloween tribute. She dressed up just like Braxton on the cover of her 1993 self-titled album. Beyoncé's post on Instagram shows the singer sporting Braxton's look down to a T, including the white tank top, leather jacket, and high-waisted jeans. A short pixie wig completed the look. But the only difference is, look at the title there. Instead of Toni Braxton, it is Phony Braxton. So very clever by Beyoncé. Pretty good.
It was very cute.
I guess Toni she really liked the tribute too. She
Cool.
texted Braxton and said, "How is it possible that you can look better on my album cover than I?"
That's nice.
Beyoncé, yeah.
That's nice.
Can't wait to try what you fixed today.
Yeah,
Sounds
a little
delicious.
treat for you before we load you up with candy bars, right?
That's good.
Oh boy. Yeah. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again at 4 o'clock.
You want a Maserati, but you need an SUV. Why not have both? Levante, the Maserati of SUVs.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
All hands on deck. What's up? I want to point out 3 tips for using the home computer more safely. Point away.
First, stop. Make sure your software is up to date and that you've password protected your computer's login and Wi-Fi connection.
Next, think before visiting a site, opening attachments, or clicking on links.
Then connect, knowing you're helping make the web safer for you
and for everyone. Make Stop, Think, Connect part of your daily online routine.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy.
Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision, and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Find out first at 4 with ABC 7 News at 4. Weekdays on ABC 7.